We're first going to head up to Palm Beach, where a new $11 million photographic center now exhibits the world's most extraordinary photography.
The images bring us back to a moment in time, an historic moment, a frightening moment, an exciting moment. And while the men and women in front of the camera are part of our historical fabric, it is the men and women behind the presidential cameras that are helping to weave that fabric.
I think all photographers do it for a reason. The reason is we like to go places where other people can't go. For us, a sense of history, to be able to shed light into corners of the world where you wouldn't see what was happening there otherwise.
David Hume Kinnerly is a Pulitzer Prize-winning photographer. He was the White House photographer under President Gerald Ford, and he co-produced the photo book on Barack Obama's inauguration. As you can imagine, photographing a president is not without its challenges.
There's a whole decorum there that you have to understand, and sometimes it's important to know when not to take a picture and when to keep your mouth shut and observe and not be too psyched out by the pressures or the situation around you.
For these presidential photographers, the job is also one of great joy, as photojournalist Karen Ballard explains.
I was on the center stand facing the dais, and I got to see everything and shoot the swearing in and every performer that came out, and so I got to get that shot of Aretha, so that was pretty cool.
One of the most famous presidential photographs in history is perhaps this one.
That's, to me, one of the quintessential presidential photography moments, because it was father and son just playing in a really extraordinary place.
Paul Morse, who was a White House photographer during George Bush's term, has, like many of his colleagues, served presidents on both sides of the political aisle. One of his favorite photos happened during the coverage of the Obama inauguration.
In D.C., all the concerns with security, I thought, would prevent them from ever getting out of the limo and walking down Pennsylvania Avenue. And all of a sudden the limo slowed down, you know, that, oh my gosh, they're gonna actually get out, and they did, and they walked down the street, and the emotion and the energy was just, you just feel it. You can, from the crowd, it just was soaking in, and it was really exciting. I know this is a real historic moment. You could tell they were moved by the crowd, and they were out in the middle of it, and so that was, you know, my favorite moment.
David is drawn to this one as a symbol of how our country functions as a democracy, with peaceful transition from one administration to the other. Karen, too, has a favorite that mirrors this theme.
So the pictures of Al Gore speaking to recently elected Bush, and Bill Clinton, who was the outgoing president at the time, is watching. And it's the first time these guys have spoken since the 36-day recount and the Supreme Court ruled for Bush. So it's a real behind-the-scenes moment and a very exciting time.
All of these works were part of an exhibit that took place at the Palm Beach Photo Center's inaugural event. It also includes the work of Bob McNeely, who helped make history as Bill Clinton's White House photographer.
Where there's a collective group of talent, you know, where people can experience and learn from the photographers what they saw and hear the stories behind the pictures. I think that adds so much to the experience, and so I was really, I think, very, very honored to be here, but also to be a part of the White House. It's something that I can't wait to tell other people about.
The center helped launch a brand new city center complex in downtown Palm Beach.
Oh, this space is like a dream come true. We're so lucky to have this facility here right inside of, as part of City Hall and the library complex, the city center. The building is beautiful, and of course, I think our architect did an amazing job designing this space.
West Palm Beach Mayor Lois Franklin says that cultural centers are an important part of a city's vitality.
We expect this photo center to generate millions of dollars a year right here in our city. It was actually evaluated to be the top cultural economic generator in our county by the Palm Beach Cultural Council. That's because people come from all over the world and all over the country to go to photo school right here and come in to look at the exhibitions.
But presidential photographers, like those getting ready to exhibit here today, don't just capture presidential moments. They also capture history in the making, especially when there are presidential decisions to be made.
Being in the room as they're being made as a photographer shows the gravity of it. None of those decisions are ever made lightly. I've been in those meetings, and I think that's part of the value of what we bring to the world as a photographer.
I think you're looking for gesture, you're looking for something that sums up a feeling, especially when it comes to photographing presidents. You're trying to capture the time that we're in.
Paul also feels that the simplest moments are also worth capturing.
The most innocuous pictures, the little moments, history changes them. And every year, the pictures become different. Their meanings change. As history is written, the players in the shots change. Their stories change. And so a moment you think wasn't really significant now is really very significant. And that was one of the things I had to always concentrate on at the White House. Even someone just shaking a hand, you had to get that picture because you don't know what history is going to say about that picture in the future.
For more information about the Palm Beach Photographic Center, go to workshop.org.
The preceding program was a production of WLRN Public Television.